Hello, Lego over here, and we're back today on F1 2020, and as you can see, we're here at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for round 7 of the FOCC XRL season, and we're out in qualifying now. Still 16 minutes to go, and we're just setting our banker here. As we cross the line, it's a 42-0, so not great, but it's just a banker, so we're going to see if we can improve here. Taking a wide line now out of the bus stop to do our second lap, or start our second lap here. Carry as much speed onto the straight before braking into La Source. Easy to go deep, so be careful of that. We go a little bit deeper than what we would have liked, but we don't lose too much time. And heading through Eau Rouge and Radion, such amazing corners, and now heading onto the Kemmel Straight, activating the DRS here. We're 200ths down on our lap and we're losing a little bit of time down the straight, so we're going to try and make up time through Les Combes, but through here now we go and we get a bit of oversteer there, so we lose quite a bit of time, but we make it up through the next corner, and then into this very difficult corner we go so wide, so we lose a lot of time there as well, which is not ideal. But heading out of No Name corner and into Pouon here, this is a great corner as well, but it's easy to get wrong, so you have to be careful not to spin here. We're about a 10th up, which is a bit less than what I would have hoped for here, but we're going to keep pushing. We don't get the line right through here, so it's not been a great lap overall. Heading through this corner, now onto the exit, which leads down to this long straight. We set a purple second sector, so clearly still a decent lap, as we're heading into Blanchimont, and now out of that corner, just a slight kink, easy flat, into the bus stop. It's easy to get the braking wrong, but we don't do it on that occasion. We get the second part just as good as we did the first, and we gain another 10th there, and it's a 41.8, but that's still around half a second slower than my PB, so I knew there was at least half a second in it. And as you can see, with 3 minutes to go in qualifying, we're on our outlap now, and you can see there's a lot of traffic here at this stage, and ideally I would have liked to stay in the pit lane a bit longer before heading out, but I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough time to set another lap, so we're just making sure that we're able to secure pole position here. But you can see there's a lot of traffic, and I think it's just everyone wanting the slipstream, and we're not having any of that, so we're just trying to get past everyone as soon as possible. It's a traffic jam through here. We're going to try and go down the inside to pass, but Sainz completely stops on the racetrack and we go into the back of him, so that's quite unfortunate because we ended up getting damage from that, and we couldn't set the final lap in qualifying that we would have liked here. So yeah, quite unfortunate there, but we're going to have to deal with it. As you can see, we're letting a bunch of people by. Tires are absolutely freezing, but it doesn't matter anyway, as everyone's just getting out of the way trying to get slipstream. I have no idea what was going on that outlap and why everyone wanted the slipstream so badly, but you can see the results on screen now. We do secure pole position. Aiden lines up in P2. Both of the McLarens actually got 5-place grid penalties, so they both might have been involved in collisions. But you can see the race strategy there as we're starting this race now. Heading onto the formation lap, trying to warm up the tires here. And we cut onto the end of the formation lap, ready to start this race here as we line up on the grid. And it's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the Belgian GP. And it's lights out and let's go racing here. We get a okay start, but Aiden gets an even better start than us, and he's going to try and go around the outside here, and he gets the move done out of turn 1, and I'm surprised that he tried to go ahead through turn 1, because now going up Eau Rouge and Radion, we're going to have a lot of slipstream. We're going to have all the battery to use to try and get past him. You can see Aiden is going defensive. We're going to go to the outside, going into Les Combes, and we're going to brake for Les Combes, and he just about holds it. He goes a bit deep, he has a bit of an oversteer, but we're not able to make a move on this first lap. And now Kimi's all over the back of us. We try to cover off the inside, but it's too late. We go a bit deeper, and Kimi is not able to get the move. We make slight contact, actually, and Kimi has to hang back on that occasion. Aiden gets a massive snap of oversteer, nearly spins off there as we're heading through Puan. Complete understeer, as you can see on the first lap, and we get a warning, which is not ideal, but I was pretty certain that penalties would not be an issue for me at Spa. So we're heading through the S section now, and now into this right-hander, which leads into another right-hander, which leads into a very, very long straight. We're going to have the slipstream of Aiden, but we're not going to use the overtake button because we don't want to be ahead going into turn 1, or we don't want to be ahead going out of turn 1 because that will give the car behind the slipstream and an easy pass into turn 5, I think, Lake Com. But Aiden gets the bus stop massively wrong, and he nearly, it looked like he was going in the pit lane there, but he just got the chicane a bit wrong on that occasion. And Aiden, you can see, is going wide because he's trying to get that slipstream, and I kind of knew this was going to happen. But we make contact, actually. Aiden kind of goes into the side of us, and through Eau Rouge and Radion, Aiden is ahead once again. He has a big oversteer, nearly spins out there, and we're going to have the better run on him going down the straight. Just like the first lap, we've moved over to the left side of the track. We'll have the outside for braking into Lake Com. We had to set a purple first sector. We give Aiden plenty of room, and we get the move done as we now exit Lake Com and head into this very technical corner. We go slightly defensive just to make sure he doesn't make a move, but he was a bit too far back to make a move anyway. Heading through No Name corner now. It's important to use all of the track on exit. It's not that easy to get a warning there, so you don't have to be cautious through there at all. Heading through the S section now, heading into it, and now through the second part of the S's, and we nearly spin off. We pretty much drifted for the entire second part of that S section, full opposite lock, but yellow flags are out, and Aiden's made a mistake, just like we have, but his mistake has been even more detrimental to his race, and he is all the way back in P3 now. The gap is 4.6 seconds to Aiden. Triple G is now in P2, and he's 4.2 seconds behind, so surely Aiden must have held up the guys behind as well. And Aiden's back into P2, so clearly they're battling. We set the fastest lap on lap 2 of this race. The DRS has been enabled. Clearly the two behind us are fighting for a position. Like I said, it's very close for the fight for P2 between the cars in P2, P3, and P4 as we head up the hill through Radion onto the Camel Straight. We're using the battery. We already have below 40% heading on to lap 3. Yellow flags are out. Triple G has retired from the session just before Eau Rouge, or just after Radion, I think. And the VSC has been deployed and in this race. I don't think they actually made contact or crashed. I think it was just loss of control there. So no incident, which is good as we return to racing speed now. Aiden did definitely maximize on that VSC as he brought the gap down from around 6 seconds all the way down to 4.7, so he gained 1.3 seconds just in that virtual safety car, which is not great for us. He was definitely maximizing that VSC, and we got it a bit wrong, but we're going to keep pushing here. 5.1 is the gap to Aiden. Bulldozer is just, or as I say, he's just 3/10 behind. He is up into P2, and that is because Aiden has decided to pit on lap 3. That's quite early, but in a 25% race, which is such a short race, especially at Belgium, which is just 11 laps in a 25% race. Pitting, you can pretty much pit whenever you want for the medium. As you can see, we just confirmed to box because since Aiden has gone into the pit lane, we're going to have to respond on this lap to cover off an undercut attempt. But the VSC has been deployed. There's another car out of this session. It's Red Rex, and we're just confirming once again that we're going to box this lap. But as the VSC ends, you can see that behind us, Bulldozer has gotten a drive-through penalty, and that's for speeding under the virtual safety car, I would assume, as we head onto this very long straight with a couple of kinks in it. We're going to, like I said, box this lap because we have to respond on this lap to Aiden's undercut attempt, or else we might lose too much time. Once again, we are confirming to box this lap as we head through the bus stop and we go into the pit lane on this occasion. As I said, now heading into the pits, we don't speed, which is good. Get the pit entry pretty nicely as we head into the box now. Tires are ready for us, and it's a 2.6 second pit stop like usual in an online race. And Bulldozer is going to have to serve that drive-through penalty behind us. And just look at the position counter. We're going to see where Aiden is. You can see on the minimap he's heading down the main straight, I believe, or the start-finish straight. We get oversteer out of the pit lane, and that's not good for us. But let's see the gap to Aiden, and it's 4 seconds, 3.8. It's going to keep going down since we have just exited the pit lane. So he's gained nearly a second from that undercut attempt, maybe more than a second. So that's why we had to respond to that undercut attempt, because Aiden has just gained so much time on the undercut there as we head through Lake Om now, exiting that sequence of corners. And we've got a lot of cars ahead of us that have not made a pit stop, and you can see the car head Giovinazzi's AI is lagging. The AI were quite laggy in this race. I just want to point that out as we head into Pouan. Probably going to lift before the corner. Yeah, you can see we are, because we don't want to make a mistake and run into the back of the car ahead as he's lagging all over the place now. We're going to have a look down the inside, and we get the move done on that occasion. Giovinazzi has a look back around the outside with a kind of switchback attempt, but he's unable to make it work as we're heading onto this long straight once again. And we are using the overtake and the slipstream so that we can get past Magnussen. But you can see we turn off the battery quite early here. We have 50% battery at the moment, and we're going to try and go for a move into the bus stop here. We have a look down the inside. We're not able to make it work. And what has happened there? Magnussen just parks it on the apex, and we go into the back of him because we didn't expect him to slow down that much. That was definitely interesting as Aiden sets the fastest lap and we get past Magnussen, which is good for us. Luckily we did not get damage from that. So we're heading down through and into Eau Rouge and Radion, and we're going to be side by side with our teammate through Eau Rouge and Radion, and I think we made slight contact there because I got a massive amount of oversteer. I nearly spun, and as a result of that we went off track trying to prevent the spin, and we end up getting a penalty, which is not ideal. I actually don't remember when I got my second warning. I thought I was only on one warning before I went off track there, so that penalty definitely confused me. I still am yet to take a look at when I got my second warning, but you can see Bulldozer has retired from the session just after Radion, so maybe he spun off just like Triple G. As we're heading through Pouan now, we have a massive lift. We go completely off throttle, so we're just going very slowly to make sure we don't go into the back of any cars here. Heading through the S section, we get a big oversteer. Dirty Air definitely playing a role in that as we head into this right-hander, going very easy under braking, and we're going to look to get the move done down the straight. We're very close to Albon, and we get the better exit. Albon has a bit of a twitch of oversteer, and we're going to use the overtake button. We're turning it off now that we're slightly ahead, but Albon is clearly using more battery than us, and we're going to go around the outside at Francorchamps. We're still side by side, heading into the bus stop. We brake later, and we're going to have a look around the outside, which becomes the inside of Russell, and Albon still has his nose in there, and we just about keep the position, so that was definitely quite the battle. But moving on to lap 8, everyone's made their pit stop now, as there's yellow flags, and Aiden has spun off at Pouan, so that's not good for him at all. The gap was around 3 seconds, I think, to Aiden, and now it's all the way up to like 12 seconds, I believe, as we set a purple sector. Aiden also has 3 seconds of penalties, so that's not going to affect our race since we both have equal penalties, so we won't have to worry about trying to finish 3 seconds ahead of him, which is good for us as we head into the bus stop chicane. And we go pretty deep actually. So we got the braking pretty wrong. And definitely something I noticed with this setup that I was running as we set the fastest lap is that it was definitely a bit sensitive under braking into the bus stop. Actually was struggling with rear locking, which is not great because you can actually spin under braking if the rears lock, but we were able to manage it for the most part. And as we're cutting on to the end of this race, the checkered flag waves for us, and we take our 6th win out of 7 races in this season. It's been a great race overall. P1 once again, and that's a good amount of points for us as we were able to keep the fastest lap. Aiden and I kept trading fastest laps back and forth, but I was able to keep it in the end. As you can see, the podium celebrations here. We finished P1, of course, Aiden P2, as you saw, and then Throne Globe finishing in P3, so a great race from him as well. And you can see the podium celebrations now. Overall, a quite good race. It was well managed from us. We were able to steer clear of any incidents, and we kept it clean pretty much to win this race. You can now see the race results here, and our teammate finishes outside of the points once again. We had 4 DNFs in this race, which was quite crazy. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as I post F1 content Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, so make sure to stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.